you're listening to Lazy Gal podcast hosted by Sejal Ganate. Here we are, a month later, but I finally got an episode out, so you know what? I actually filmed this a week ago, and I changed like softwares. I've been trying to experiment with different things, trying to edit differently, trying to see if I can also make it more of a YouTube vibe, so it's not really only like hardcore podcast. So I lost the video. I lost last week's video. And obviously I was like, damn, like, okay. But you know what? This episode is about changing your perspective. And that's exactly what I did. Instead of being like, screw it, I'm just never going to record it and like wait till I feel like doing it again, which could be like a month or two where I'm like, okay, blah, blah, blah. I told myself, you weren't even 100% happy with that video anyways. You'll just be fine recording a new 15 to 20 minute one. So that's what I did. And this time you will have a better one. And you'll have a better outline, and you'll just be something that you're actually proud of. But because with the last episode, it was good, and I would have published it, but I know maybe this is just another chance to improve it. So here I am, and so instead of using Riverside, which I usually do, which is the software I use, I'm going to try just recording it on my Mac and using DaVinci to edit it. I don't think I'll need the subtitles, but like I did that in Riverside, and also like the clips where like it auto kind of takes snippets for you so you can post on social media, which I did like, but you know, I'll see. And I'm still deciding on camera quality because right now I'm using the Continuity camera where like I use my iPhone to film it, and I can do that also on Riverside. I don't know, like I'll see. You know what? I'll see. Whatevs. Okay. So some June events were, if you don't follow me on social media, some June events were like, if you don't follow me on social media, I went out to the farmer's market. I tried pineapple sugarcane juice. I also went bowling. I got a little bit better, I'm not gonna lie. And I also put more red in my hair, which you can see a little bit more in the sun, but maybe you can see it here too. I posted a reel or two. I just posted one today about what's in my purse, like kind of like a whole outlay. Of course, when you see it, it'll be like earlier this week. I think I will start posting on Wednesdays every week instead of Thursdays. I'll still trying it out. I also finally settled on a productivity tool. I have been looking and looking. I tried TickTick to Todoist to Taskade. I have been all around the block. I even tried bullet journaling. I have been everywhere. And I decided on Notion. And Notion Calendar, like it's both by Notion, which I'm kind of happy they're two different apps because you know what? Like, okay, like separated, but I also don't like it because then I have to like switch constantly and be like, okay, where's the calendar, whatever. But you know, I do like the calendar and it is free, so there you go. And I've also been applying the stuff and being more proactive in my academic, my career, and my content creator areas. So you know, Bedrock June turned out to be pretty decent. In July, I have some things going on, and I know I'll say I'll be more consistent, but trust me, this is the month. You know, July, summer, my last kind of summer month, I'm going to be productive. I'm going to work on it. Because if I don't work on it now, God knows I'll be busy in the fall. Anyways, changing your perspective can actually impact your life in so many different ways. The way we perceive situations or events often directly influence our reactions, our emotions, and our decisions. By shifting our perspectives, we can really open ourselves up to new possibilities and solutions that we might have like never considered. And this shift can lead to so much personal growth, improve relationships, and just a more positive outlook on life. And obviously, like, who doesn't want that? So it's not always easy to change our perspective, and it really does require intentional effort and commitment. Intentional. Like, you have to tell yourself, these are what my subconscious is thinking, and this is what I want to think from now on. This is what the best version of myself is going to be thinking like, and this is how I'm going to show up. And, you know, there are always rewards for putting in the work in ourselves. You will never lose any of the work that you put in yourselves. No matter how much you work on yourself, that will not leave. You always have that. So it's really a win-win situation. Like, you put in the work, you gain the benefits of it. So changing your perspective can also really help with persistence, I would say. I'm going to move my keyboard out of here. When you're faced with challenges, we are often, in these negative thinking patterns where we're getting trapped in a cycle of despair and frustration. And by changing our perspective, we can see these challenges not as life-changing or like life-ending actually obstacles, but as opportunities for growth and learning. By looking at things differently, maybe even though By looking at things differently, it can help you approach problems in your life in a better way. For example, with the way that things work out sometimes maybe even often things don't work out the way that they planned. That's normal. Like obviously, we can all think of at least 3 things in our lives that have not worked out the way that we wanted it to, both big and small, or like everyday habits and decisions, whatever has not worked out for us, even the bigger issues. We can say so many because as humans, as people who live life normally, things don't happen our way all the time. Now, this is something that I have been working on as well, is just changing my perspective on both big and small issues. So, like, for example, I remember a time my friend said that she couldn't go on a walk. Like, we had a walk plan, 7 p.m. I'll meet you there. She said she can't go. It was like a bit like, if it was like 7, it was maybe like 10 minutes before. And, like, I was like unmotivated. I was like, oh, like, whatever. Like, I was going to walk tomorrow. Like, she's not even going to come. What's the point? And I told myself, like, that was my subconscious thinking. And I was like, no. You wanted to go on a walk to move your body, to be healthier, to get some exercise. This is a goal that you wanted to accomplish, and it doesn't matter if your friend is there or not. At the end of the day, this is your goal that you want to accomplish. No one else is going to do it for you. So you're going to do it, and it's going to be fun, which is why like I jammed to some music and I listen to podcasts I like. I've been listening to the Conspiracy Theory podcast, which I'll link down below. And sometimes I am also just done with listening to a bunch of wellness and productivity, and I kind of want to listen to something fun, something that I can just kind of zone out to when I'm walking as well. And like, it's not like I missed something, because sometimes when I listen to like wellness and like health, I'm like, damn, I missed that. What was she talking about? Like, I feel like it was important. But with like stuff that's kind of like entertainment media, it's like whatever. Like, what happens, it happens. So just viewing things through a different lens or mindset really does change your life, because small things add up to big ones. If I didn't have this perspective change now, I would have never, had this perspective change with the bigger things in my life. For example, like if I didn't go on a walk, I would have procrastinated my goals even more, carrying the same mindset into tomorrow, where I will just put it off to, again, tomorrow. Like, in Notion, I started using a daily habit tracker. Again, not sponsored. Again, whatever. So I have this daily habit tracker, and in this daily habit tracker, I have like habits I want to work on. So that could be religious habits. That could be habits related to my profession, my career, related to content creating. These are just like personal habits, of course. So if I thought the same way with every single one of those habits, where it's like, okay, you know what, I'll just do it tomorrow, whatever. Like there's still time left in the week, whatever. That would not work. I would never reach my goals. I would actually not really accomplish much and might even fall behind, because consistency does prove well in the end. Obviously, there are some places where consistency plays a role more than others. For example, if I'm trying to grow my Instagram account, posting consistently is going to be a lot more helpful than when I'm journaling, where, consistently means different things. For example, consistently going to the gym might be every day or every 5 times a week. But for me, journaling consistently means 1 or 2 a week, maybe once a week. So it's different for everyone. And just make sure you know your goal. So you're not like, oh, I didn't journal today, but you're like, wait, I only really want to journal once or twice. I should be prioritizing this. So changing your perspective in the sense that, you know what, like, it's all right. Like, this is the way I thought about it before, and so the way I want to think about it now. Because I changed the way I thought about stuff. Like the walk, for example. Instead of thinking like, oh, like my friend's not going to come, what's the point? I'm like, no, this is for my happiness and my health. I'm going to do it. Now this logic or like whatever's perspective extends to bigger things in my life, and it just helps me accomplish more throughout the day. So I'm not like, oh, like I know I didn't film anything today, or like, you know what, like I know I said I'll release a reel today, but whatever, like it's already like 9 p.m. I'm like, okay, it's 9 p.m. It doesn't mean anything. Like, just because it's a bit late doesn't mean anything. Like, of course, I get posting at certain times, but I can always have that reel ready and scheduled for the correct time, so I'm not going through the same thing again tomorrow. Because things come up, like, for example, I do post on social media and stuff, and I know a lot of people who have, like, side jobs or stuff where they have, like, hobbies, and not all these hobbies can be done or can have the same prioritization as different things. For example, let's say you're working like a job that pays well, or like that pays your bills. You obviously need to focus on that more than anything else. Like, that's just how it is. You need to focus on that more than anything else, because that pays your bills and that's what gets it done. And even though your hobbies or whatever habits you have need to take a step back, that's all right. Like, you should not be like beating your, I don't know why that was in frame. Well, you should not be beating yourself up over something that you need to live, that you need for your health and your happiness. So this could be like, just a way to set everything together, because it just changing your perspective. Now, this could be about like a job offer, changing your perspective about a job offer not working out, or like something else that you applied for. Instead of your reaction being, I don't deserve this, I was never good enough, it should be, it's okay. There's a million opportunities out there that are better than this one, and I deserve the best one out there. That's the way you should think. And this is so niche, but I remember 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever, on TikTok, there was like the Megan Thee Stallion, like effect. I think loosen arm, but it was basically saying like how girls would show before and after of them listening to Megan Thee Stallion. And of course, her music itself did not magically come in one night and change these girls' appearances, change their self-worth. What it did though was subconsciously tell the mind, blah, blah, I deserve this, I deserve that. Because if you listen to her Megan Thee Stallion's music, it's very self-confident, it's very boosting the ego and just your self-esteem. Because I remember it's like, it's she's not putting herself down. There's a song by SZA called Special, of course, like SZA, whatever. And I don't listen to that song personally just because it's like, I wish I was a special girl, I wish I was blah, blah, blah. And this is so telling the brain that I'm not someone special, I'm not someone worth of these things. Now, again, base surface level, this is just a song, and of course people might be reading too much into it, but it's the words, the subconscious, what it hears every single time. Because if you hear something all the time, it's your brain is going to be programmed to believe it. It's the same thing with music. If you constantly listen to music that's telling you, oh, I'm not worth this and this, I'm not this type of person, I'm not someone who can do this and this, whatever type of like, message it has in there that is putting you down, even if it's not really putting you down, quote unquote, that's still something that you're hearing every single day. So that's kind of where like the positive self-talk changes your perspective, and it also changes the way others see you. Because if you constantly believe, oh, I'm not good enough, or that like things don't work out, why will other people believe otherwise? Changing your perspective also changes others, and confidence is easy to see in other people, and it often gives people more confidence in you. Like, you can tell by someone who has confidence is when they hold themselves up very, like, their posture is good, they look classy, they eat classy, they feel the energy that they have is classy because they believe that they are classy. They often have routines or just habits that make them more classy, or someone that is someone that has high vibrational energy. That's kind of what I'm going to. So if you listen to music, or if you constantly tell yourself, always listen to people that are like, oh, like you just weren't good enough for the job, or like you need to be like, you need to XYZ. I get criticism, I get constructive criticism, I get improving yourself. Obviously that is good. Like, you should, improve yourself, especially if like, I didn't get this job because I didn't have this XYZ certifications, this interview, whatever, like this didn't go well. Obviously improving yourself is good and you should do that, but you shouldn't be telling yourself, I don't deserve this because I don't know anything, I don't deserve this because I don't have this and this. What's stopping you from getting that? Nothing. So you telling yourself all these negative things is only harming your chance of getting something that you want. And like, if you constantly believe you're not good enough or that things won't work out, why will other people believe in you? Again, why will they believe in you when you don't even believe in yourself? So a change in perspective can really add a deep sense of gratitude in our lives, because it's natural to focus on what we lack or what's going wrong. It's really like an evolutionary survival mechanism, but by consciously shifting our focus and choosing to appreciate what we have and recognize the good around us, we can start this attitude of gratitude. I'm Dr. Seuss, I guess. Okay. This shift can also lead to like this increased happiness, satisfaction, overall well-being, because we are telling ourselves, I'm not going to complain about always, maybe like having a lot of traffic going to work, because maybe I should be grateful that I have a job that pays and I also have ability to go to that job using my own private transport. A lot of people don't have that. A lot of people, don't have jobs. A lot of people don't have their own cars, and they always have to rely on public transportation. So, again, you have all the right to complain about things, but if your life is just complaining, and complaining, not only are you affecting your energy where you become someone who feels negative all the time, you're also, stopping other people from feeling positive, and no one likes that. No one likes being around a negative Nancy all the time. So obviously it is what you make of it. If you don't start being grateful, like, it's not gonna absolutely, wreck your lives. But the small habits just lead up to bigger habits. And by changing our perspectives, basically, it's such a powerful tool for personal transformation. And lots of people just be like, oh, how can I glow up? How can I be the new next it girl? How can I be this, and this? It's by changing your perspective. If you constantly believe that you are not an it girl, you won't be an it girl. If you constantly believe that you're not worthy of this position, of this type of thing, you are not worthy. That's what's going to happen, because if you're telling yourself that, why would you believe anything else? Why would you believe anything else if you tell yourself that you don't deserve XYZ? There you go, case in point. So it allows us really just changing our perspective, see the world through a new lens, and uncover hidden opportunities and possibilities. And it encourages us to step out of our comfort zone, because once we step out of our comfort zone, we start being proactive, we start reaching out to people, we start finding new opportunities, and these new opportunities find us. And just breaking free from limiting beliefs and opening our minds to just so many more things than what we think we know just lands us endless opportunities. And even if it seems challenging, like, I know this constantly being like, no, I have to think this way, it's worth the effort to consciously work on changing our perspectives. The process might be uncomfortable and require us to confront aspects of ourselves that we'd rather avoid. But again, the results can change your life. It can lead to personal growth, better relationships, greater resilience, and improved mental health, and just a better, more fulfilling, meaningful life. So changing our perspective helps us become the best version of ourselves and really helps us live our life to the fullest. And it's kind of what I want to do in this whole episode, just telling you it is the small things. Like, for example, the walking story I told you guys, where I was like, no, I'm gonna do it. Or the instead of telling yourself I don't deserve this, being like, no, I do. Actually, I deserve the best thing that's gonna happen. It's going to come, and I know that that's the reason why I was barred from this opportunity, is because there's a better one even coming to me. Okay, so that's the end of this episode. Thank you guys. I will see you next time. Bye.